Okay, so I went to work yesterday afternoon. I didn't get far. My scooter started to make a high-pitched screaming sound. Sounded like a saw cutting through timber. So I pulled the variator off and I'll be pulling the clutch apart and so on. I did test the engine, nothing wrong with that, thank God. I mean, the original variator looks okay, so I've got no idea what it could be, but luckily I've got my new one, which I got in the post the other day. That one, and also a LoLzzz Delta clutch and clutch bell, which I might put in today or next week. Okay, so I've got the variator off. That was quite easy. I've got the Weld tool for that. This one's a bit tricky for some reason. The clutch bell stuck on the spline. Okay, it's starting to come now. Come on. Oh, it never used to be this hard. Oh, there it is. Oh, fuck. Oh, I see what the problem is. She's fucked. Looks like I'm up for a new one of these. The back end of the torque driver sheared off the shaft. I've got no idea how that happened. Holy shit. There you go. So normally that's fixed in there. It's totally sheared off. So it's completely sheared off inside here. This is actually a fixed part. Oh, where is it? On here. And this is the moving part. So that's the end of that. Let me just get a closer view of the case. So obviously it's been rubbing on here. What I think happened is that it must have got stuck on there somehow and then snapped off. Anyway, it's a relief, nothing major. Okay, I've ordered the parts from GPS Imports in Melbourne. Obviously LoLzzz don't make the fixed half of the driven pulley, so I've got original Piaggio part apparently, and the new nut for $114.95 shipped, so that's not too bad. The movable half here is still good, so I've got new seals and O-rings for that. I'll just put them in there once I get that. Hopefully I'll get it by Tuesday next week. Oh, what a miserable day. It's already starting to shower. I've just got a week off work now. I had so much planned. Had to spray some weeds, do some painting. I think I can forget about that. Anyway, back to this. So I finally got my new fixed half of the driven pulley. Yeah, so I'll open that up and have a quick look. Okay. Oops, just check the part number on that. It says 878647. I don't know if that's the old part number or a new part number. One of them's been superseded. Doesn't matter. So as you can see, the middle piece is just welded in there. Now, it's just welded on the back and nothing in the front. I think that's a bit of a weak spot. So I'll just have to look at the old one just to see the difference and see where the weld cracked. Okay, here's the bottom part of the fixed side of the driven pulley. I don't know if you can see, but the weld is actually still intact, so that central shaft just sheared right off the weld. It's very thin. There's no actual weld at the top. Maybe they should have welded it on the inside and the outside. But then again, you've got the other part that slides in and fits in snugly, so there's no room for the weld unless they cut a little recess in. Well, that's obviously a design flaw. I don't know what the life expectancy of these are, but I think my scooter's done about 56,000 kilometers with that. I do have the LoLzzz head and cylinder and the Lambda emulator, so I think it's a little bit more powerful than standard. I don't know if that has an effect on that, but anyway, so the weld snapped. I mean, the weld's still intact. The shaft just dislodged from that, you could say. Well, all I can do is put it back together and keep going, and just bear in mind that I might need another one in the future. Anyway, I'm at my workshop. I was actually looking for my big socket set now for quite a while, and I can't find it. I hope my dad didn't give it away. He probably thinks that we no longer have trucks, we don't need it anymore. But I did manage to find a 46mm spanner, so this is pretty much what I'll have to do to get the nut off. I've already loosened it, so it comes off pretty easy. Just got to watch the tension on that spring. What I normally do is loosen it up just enough, then stand on it. Like there is a fair bit of tension on the spring, but then again, it's not that much. So I think it's pretty safe to say that you can hold it down with your hands. Two people would be ideal, of course, but I don't have that at the moment. It's just a luxury I'll have to go without. There we go. Too easy. And that's the LoLzzz white spring I had in there. I don't know which half is supposed to spin or not. That's the clutch. Still looks okay. I'll just keep that as a spare. And then I'll be looking at that. I've got some new seals and O-rings, so I'll put them in, grease that one up. Yeah. Compare the two springs. They feel pretty similar. I think the pulley spring is a little bit stiffer. So I might put the pulley spring in. Anyway, keep going with this. It's all coming along nicely. Got some spare contact cleaner here where I can give it a good clean. Oh yeah, look at that. Beautiful. Okay, got that one back together. Got the oil seals on. The top one was a bit difficult. I hope it isn't damaged, but I got it in there all right. New O-rings, all greased up. See if it'll move. Yep, look at that. Beautiful. I'll just putting that in there. Bit of grease. Keep it nice and clean. Looks good. Okay, now for the hard part. Spring. New clutch. Obviously there's no fins on the clutch like this. The clutch belt's got little fin type holes on it, so that'll draw the air in to cool it, so there's no need for the fins on the actual clutch. Probably a little bit lighter, not by much. Anyway, so I hope I haven't forgotten any parts. It's just a matter of pushing it down and putting the nut on, which would be easy. Just got to find the nut now. There it is. That is Piaggio part number 433232, I think. Yeah, the old one, the thread's not that good anymore. So, who says you need a special tool for this? It is just so easy to do it by hand. There you go. Okay. And because there aren't any fins on here, I can actually get the ring end of the spanner on it. Too easy. And the tricky part is, of course, getting it tight. That means putting it back in the clamp. Which way do I got to turn it? Anyway. Without damaging the clutch lining, of course. But it should be okay. Just enough to hold it in. alright, no marks on that. It's pretty tight. There it is. It's all back together, ready to go back on. Okay, there it is. This goes on. Looking good. That's done. Yeah, so no fins on the clutch. They're actually here on the clutch bell, so that spins around and sucks the air in for cooling. And that one goes straight on. Oh. Okay, there it is, all back together. Now for a quick startup.